So the name of this hormone, which is adrenocorticotropic, basically tells us that it stimulates the release of other hormones. So now let's zoom into the adrenal glands and see how exactly it is happening. So the ACTH mainly acts on the outer part of the adrenal glands, which is called the cortex. It consists of 3 layers, which are namely the zona glomerulosa, which is the outermost layer, the zona fasciculata, which forms the middle part, and the zona reticularis, which forms the innermost layer. Now, these are responsible for the synthesis of mineralocorticoids, glucocorticoids, and androgens, respectively. And you can also appreciate the medulla is responsible for the secretion of epinephrine and norepinephrine. So once ACTH reaches the adrenal cortex, it binds to its receptors present on the extracellular membranes on zona fasciculata and zona reticularis. The ACTH basically binds to high affinity G protein coupled membrane receptors. Now these receptors are associated with basically 3 types of G proteins: the GS alpha, the G beta, and the G gamma proteins. Firstly, the GS alpha combines with the GTP and activates the adenylate cyclase system. Now, this complex assists the conversion of adenosine triphosphate to cyclic adenosine monophosphate, which are ATP to cyclic AMP. Now, the cyclic AMP is a secondary signal transducer, which activates the protein kinase pathway. Now, this pKa is responsible for steroidogenesis, which is the pathway by which cholesterol leads to the production of adrenal steroid hormones. So this pathway starts from the conversion of cholesterol ester lipid droplet by the mitochondrial side chain cleavage system enzymes to cholesterol and pregnenolone in the mitochondrial matrix. Now, pregnenolone, by the action of multiple enzymes, will be further converted to other steroid hormones, which are namely the cortisol, aldosterone, and other precursors for androgens. So let's see how this is actually happening. So firstly, pregnenolone is converted to progesterone and further to corticosterone, resulting in aldosterone. Now, aldosterone is a mineralocorticoid. Now, as the name suggests, which is mineralocorticoid, it regulates the concentration of minerals and is mainly involved in salt and water homeostasis in the body. Now, another pathway leads to the enzymatic conversion of pregnenolone to hydroxypregnenolone, which further leads to deoxycortisol and ultimately forming cortisol through the action of various enzymes. Now, this cortisol, you must remember, is a glucocorticoid. Now, again, as the name suggests, which is gluco, means that it mainly regulates carbohydrate or glucose metabolism in the body. Now we get the precursor for androgens via the same hydroxypregnenolone, which is converted to dehydroepiandrosterone, or also known as DHEA, resulting in androstenedione. Now, this is a precursor for other sex hormones like testosterone and estradiol that play significant roles in maintaining sexual characteristics. Okay, but remember that this conversion to testosterone and estradiol does not happen in the adrenal cortex. This conversion is happening mainly in the gonads. So now let's take a look at the 3 different zones of the adrenal cortex again and see which hormones are they releasing. Basically, the zona glomerulosa is secreting the aldosterone that is regulating salt metabolism in the body. The zona fasciculata is secreting the cortisol that is regulating the sugar or glucose metabolism. And thirdly, we've got the zona reticularis that results in the secretion of androgens that are precursors for different sex hormones. So you can easily remember all of these by S, 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 or triple S. So at a glance, what is happening? Basically, stress is causing the hypothalamus to release CRH, which in turn acts on the anterior lobe of the pituitary gland to release ACTH. And then ACTH enters the adrenal cortex and enhances the release of steroid hormones. So ultimately, all of this will help the body to cope with the stress by regulating the carbohydrate metabolism and maintain homeostasis. Or you can say that the body is maintaining the serenity that we were talking about.